The truth about NoFap, how to succeed. In this video, I will talk about the truth behind NoFap and how you can succeed with it. Hello everybody, and welcome to One Mail. In this video, I will talk about the truth behind NoFap and how you can succeed with it. Many people ask me about this topic and are curious about how to follow this journey. I'll be talking about what NoFap is, its benefits, and how you can make sure you're successful with it. You should stay tuned because, after all, not everybody is very successful with this journey, and I will provide a sustainable and concrete tip to help you with it. For those unfamiliar with the term, NoFap is a challenge in which participants attempt to go for an extended period of time without self-pleasure. Though it may sound like a simple feat, NoFap can be surprisingly tricky, especially for men. There are a number of reasons why men may struggle with refraining from self-pleasure, such as higher levels of testosterone and a stronger drive. Additionally, many men are used to self-pleasure regularly, and giving up this habit can be difficult. Finally, some men simply enjoy the act of it and find it hard to give up this pleasure. For these reasons, men often fail at NoFap challenges. However, many men have successfully given up self-pleasure. These individuals can attest to the benefits of abstaining from this act, such as improved mental focus and greater self-control. Though it may be difficult, NoFap can be a rewarding challenge for those who can stick with it. Repeatedly, I have emphasized this. NoFap can't be done immediately. The urges are too strong to resist simply. Stopping your adult vids habits is suddenly impossible. New research suggests that there might be some truth to this claim. A recent study found that when participants were asked to abstain from adult vids for 3 weeks, they experienced withdrawal symptoms similar to those seen in drug addicts. These symptoms included anxiety, irritability, and difficulty concentrating. The study also found that the participants had trouble avoiding triggers, such as online ads or websites that they had previously visited. You may also have flashbacks in your mind when it comes to withdrawal symptoms. As I mentioned, it's very similar to the idea of overcoming drug addiction. Many people battle addiction every day. While some are able to overcome their addictions without help, others find it very difficult to do so. One of the primary reasons that addiction is so difficult to overcome is that it hijacks the brain's natural reward system. This encourages people to keep using despite the negative consequences. However, there are certain things that can help people to overcome addiction. One of them is having a clear plan and structure in place. Having goals and something to strive for can also be helpful. It gives people a reason to stay sober even when things are tough. Finally, having a support system in place is essential. You get the point. You must make some changes to the way you live. You must transform into someone who rejects adult-specific media. Few people have the determination to follow through on a promise they've made to themselves. It calls for focus, determination, and above all, regular effort. If you're going to the gym, you're much more likely to see results if you go every day for 6 months than if you go 3 times a week for 2 months and then stop. While it's not impossible to see progress in the first scenario, doing so will undoubtedly take more time. The same holds true for any effort to alter one's lifestyle, be it giving up smoking, adopting a healthier diet, or reducing one's financial outlays. It's easy to tell the difference between someone who pretends to make these adjustments and someone who actually does. Ultimately, the latter will produce better outcomes. To survive, a person who has been uprooted must alter the course of their life. You've made some behavioral changes in an effort to beat your addiction, but you haven't made any structural ones. You're focusing exclusively on what meets your physical senses. You're barely scratching the surface of reality while being pushed to completely transform into someone else. To succeed, you must adopt a new identity. To begin and end today's video, I'll share one of my favorite quotes. To do something you've never done, you need to become someone you've never been. This is the philosophy I apply to NoFap. The idea that in order to achieve those long streaks and break the cycle of failure, you must change who you are. Transforming one's core identity is a challenging process. Not knowing who you make it even more challenging to alter that identity. Religion, connections, friendships, finances, and other factors can all influence a person's outlook and behavior. What happens, though, when an individual seeks out personal transformation? When no one but himself sees the error of his ways. When that happens, things get really challenging. It's encouraging to know that there are steps that can be taken to alleviate the discomfort of change. Understand your motivation for making the change. The question is, what do you hope to accomplish? Why do you do what you do? Why are you dissatisfied with fapping? Knowing why you want to make a change will help you keep your resolution. Numerous actionable strategies exist for overcoming fapping as well. Examples of changes that can have a significant impact include establishing a daily routine and refraining from adult movies. No matter what method you choose, keep in mind that transformation is difficult. However, Fapping can be defeated if the individual truly wants to do so. Remind yourself of the goals, structure, and blueprint that you have laid out for yourself every time you're tempted. Changing your identity is essential. Guys on NoFap often make the mistake of trying to cover too much ground at once. They make an effort to control their cravings. As a whole, they aim to combat adult vids, but they rarely address or adjust their methodology. Architects and construction workers use blueprints, which are designs and technical drawings, to demonstrate how a project will be constructed. Please picture a blueprint as the basis for this. From the laptop or mobile device you're using to watch this video to the very roof over your head, everything was once just a sketch on paper. Initial steps are always drawn up on paper. The final form of the building or other undertaking can be predicted with pinpoint accuracy by consulting the blueprints. The plans for this building are all laid out, so you could get started right away if you were a builder. You and your team have been working on the project for about 6 months when, for some reason, perhaps because you're a terrible builder, you decide to alter the building's structure or final outcome. There needs to be a revision to the plan. Certainly, no one can argue that this is not the case. One of the main reasons guys are always failing is because they can't just start adding some extra windows here or expanding and adding some extra floors there without first changing the blueprint. I'm gonna explain more about this. So, in what ways can a blueprint and NoFap help you on your journey? One important key to success when overcoming any sort of addiction is having a plan. This is especially true when it comes to overcoming adult media addiction, or NoFap. Without a blueprint to follow, it can be all too easy to give in to temptation and fall back into old patterns of behavior. However, by having a specific plan in place, you can increase your chances of success immensely. Also, as I was saying before, most guys tend to focus on the obvious. They focus only on the things they can see or touch, like starting to exercise or finding other methods to control their cravings. Although beneficial, breathing exercises and meditation do not permit the individual to adopt another persona. For one thing, even if you're the one doing all these things, whether it's more exercise, meditation, or whatever, still it's you. These actions are being performed because you have been instructed to do so. Let me elaborate on that for you. There is a distinction to be made between the person who exercises because it is a nice thing to do and the person who exercises because it is an essential part of who they are. Many men imitate what they see others doing, and thus begin to incorporate these practices into their own lives. They incorporate it into their daily lives because they are acting, but there is a big difference between acting and living. When it comes to NoFap, there are a number of different approaches that you can take. However, one essential element of any successful plan is accountability. This means finding someone who will hold you accountable for your actions and help you stay on track. In addition, it is also important to have a support system in place. These are people who will encourage you and provide motivation when you are struggling. By taking these steps, you can set yourself up for success in overcoming NoFap. I keep repeating myself, but you cannot initiate NoFap on your own. You can't fight the urges by simply avoiding adult material. The way you live needs to change. You need to transform into someone who is repulsed by adult videos. Those who are merely acting as though they are making these changes, and those who truly immerse themselves in them, are worlds apart. One who has been uprooted and whose life course has been altered because of necessity. You will never be successful at NoFap. You will always be at the mercy of your dependency. If you don't change into someone else, and I don't mean Henry Cavill, Kobe Bryant, or Elon Musk, then you can focus on becoming the best possible version of yourself. Many of you have tried to overcome your addiction, but nothing has changed. In terms of infrastructure, you're only touching on the things you can directly observe. However, in order to succeed, you must pretend to be someone else. You must train yourself to avoid adult-specific media content. You learn how their life is structured, and then you begin adopting and customizing that person's rituals and beliefs as your own. That's the secret to lasting transformation. Make a blueprint and make sure to stick to it. If you want to know more about these benefits, I dived deeper into this related topic, which is NoFap. NoFap can be a life-changing experience. In this next video, I share my story of how NoFap has improved my life in many ways. If you're curious about NoFap or if you're struggling with addiction, this video is for you. Be sure to click on it.